Hello there, my Capricorn collective, Ascend Moon, Rising Venus signs. How are you? Welcome to your twin flame read for October-ish, meaning October 2019 and beyond, kind of going into November. It's already mid-month. So let's have fun with this, even though it's a twin flame read. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, professional intuitive, professional witch, and damn happy to be here. May we be blessed, right? To my subscribers, welcome back. Thank you so much for your subscriptions. It's really helping my numbers grow and helping me reach more people with that as a spiritual teacher as well, spiritual counselor. It's just very gratifying, so thank you. Truly, I feel gratitude for every single subscription, every like, all of that. So much fun. Because, you know, slow and steady wins the race, right? My Saturn-guided ruled Capricorns. Before I get into the spread itself, the decks have already been blessed. We're good to go spiritually here. Just to clarify, if you are new to my readings, my definition of twin flame is very, very different than what you are used to seeing. Lord knows it's new for me. It's only been about a year that I've got this new perspective. And where did I get these new perspectives and definitions from? A spiritual teacher by the name of KAHN, M-A-T-T-K-H-K-A-H-N, K-A-H-N, KAHN! A little Star Trek flashback for you there. He's really great, and the video that I was inspired and transformed by is actually in the description box below. I think it's called Soul Contracts, Twin Flames, Soulmates Redefined, which then I sort of have been giving my take on that in the links above that, right? Which is clarifying twin flames, soulmates, and true lovers, as well as clarifying true lovers in the True Love Collective, which that one sort of came out of nowhere for me. In terms of doing that video. So just that you know, soulmates and contracts are not the same thing. Sorry, soulmates and twin flames, they're different contracts. They're really, really different contracts. Twin flames, turbulent, transformative, tricky, triggery, tumultuous. They help you learn how to heal yourself. They help you set boundaries. They help you clarify self-esteem as a noun, not a verb. It's not something you have, it's something that you do, right? All of the self-love, self-healing stuff, and nor are they only in romantic sexual context, or should I say form. The content of the twin flame is about you learning how to heal, transform, love, bless yourself, the whole nine, but the form can be in any relationship patterning that you can think of. And I've been using for these reads the example of my father, who's no longer physically incarnate. He died when I was 17 years old, the summer between high school and college for me. And he was a tyrant. It was a twin flame relationship. We could never give each other what we wanted, but we certainly gave each other what we needed in terms of transformative lessons, things to look at and heal within ourselves. Because he probably didn't want a gay witch, considering my older brother's name is Matthew. I'm Mark. If my parents had stayed married, there would have been Luke and John, and as I've been saying for decades, it's like, oh, and if they were girls, that would have been tragic. So let's not go there. Soulmates, however, are satisfying. Those are the ones that people are like, oh, I want my soulmate, I want my soulmate. It's like, what you want? I want my twin flame, I want my twin flame. What you really want is your soulmate. Soulmates are satisfying, symbiotic, right? You help each other heal. And just like twin flames, you don't just have one. We have hundreds of them throughout a lifetime, so pre-incarnational agreements. So that's why I'm doing the satisfying soulmate relationship, so that you can identify that you have many soulmates in your life, just like the twin flames can come in any relationship patterning. My mother and I are soulmates. A soulmate contract, definitely we've helped each other heal. We are definitely more soothing and satisfying, although in my teenage I was a hellion. So bless you, Mom. Thank you, Mom. I'm driving up to Saratoga to see her this weekend. So I'm trying to get these readings done, but I'm taking my camera and all my stuff with me, so I'll probably work while I'm up there. It's just for a weekend getaway. So with that said, let's get down to the read itself. We're going to start with 3 cards from the Caroline Myss Archetype deck. All the decks that I use are at the bottom of the description box. 1 for the Divine Feminine, 1 for the Divine Masculine, 1 for the relationship itself. And of course, the natural YouTube disclaimer, my Capricorns, we're not talking about bodily gender, right? What are we talking about? We're talking about energetic, dynamic aspects of the soul. I myself identify as a divine feminine, though, spoiler, I have a Venus. Born with one, born this way, right? Yeah. So, but then again, it's about who I'm around. Like when I'm with the man I'm in love with, I'm gay, big shocker. It's divine feminine, even though I'm a top, a little confusing. But hey, energetic dynamic. Just my heart flies open. I'm very empathic anyway around him. It's like quadruply so. But then when I'm with my mom, just as an example, she's the queen, I'm the prince. We have a lot of fun together in that way, snarky though it may be. So we're not talking about bodily gender here in any of this. So good, we got our disclaimers out of the way. You got to do them on YouTube, otherwise people will drag him, burn him at the stake, right? Or at least unsubscribe and thumbs down. So I'm just making it a habit of practice. I've only been doing these readings online since June, right? Since right before, yeah, Letha, summer solstice. But I've been reading people since I'm 12 years old and I'm 51 and got purple hair. Just woke up one day, the crown chakra exploded all over my follicles. So you ready? They're in a good mood because I'm in a good mood. So they're matching me or I'm matching them. So let's dive in. Take a deep breath. Call on your higher power. Ground and center. Focus on your breath. My Capricorns. Here we go. My Pantheons, please, one card in clarity for the divine feminine in this Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame relationship for October 2019 and beyond. One card, one soul power. What is the soul power the divine feminine is developing here in this twin flame relationship? Oh, the Alchemist. Perfect. Considering that, you know, twin flame relationships are very much about alchemy, right? Transformation, transforming something from lead to gold, its base nature into its higher nature, because the higher nature is inherent within the base nature. Just like lead only has 3 more atoms than gold. You burn off, you transform those from lead to gold. That is alchemy. And twin flame relationships are like the crucible that holds the thing to be transformed in the kiln, in the furnace, in the fire, holding it in place. So, you know, we need our twin flame relationships, but divine feminine, you're starting off, Capricorn, with a very, very powerful card. I'm not going to say an edge. Yeah, I am going to say you have an edge. You have an edge, at least in this reading. So let's keep going. Let's get one for the divine masculine here. Please, my Pantheon, same thing. One card in clarity for the divine masculine in this Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame relationship for October 2019 and beyond. What is the dominant archetype being alchemized within the divine masculine? Well, the engineer, the alchemist and the engineer. I don't know, there's something very steampunky about that. I kind of like those two together. And I know there's writing on the cards. If this is the first of these readings you're watching, let me get the third card down. These are sort of like the dominant energies, the guiding energies, the overlighting energies for the spread. Everything else is built off of them. So Pantheon, same thing. One card in clarity. The archetype for this Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame relationship for October 2019 and beyond, as though the relationship itself were a person, a power dynamic, an alchemical opportunity. One card in clarity. What is the dominant archetype in this twin flame relationship for October 2019 and beyond? We've got the athlete. Well, you know, I kind of get that with the Alchemist. I mean, I'm very familiar with these cards at my own, discovering my own archetypal chart through Caroline Myss. These are the Caroline Myss archetype cards, sacred contracts and all of that. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant work. Really helpful along the journey. So let's look at the divine feminine alchemist here. Every archetype is light and shadow, gold and lead. The goal is to alchemize into the gold from the shadow of the lead. So here we go. Light attribute for the alchemist. Transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. So even if it's like, okay, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to succeed and I'm going to do the best that I can, the alchemist is able to transform transform that into wisdom. Wisdom comes from experience, right? So even a heartbreak, and particularly a twin flame relationship, you're able to take the base motives within you that we all have. It's not a judgment. It's just third dimensional patterning, illusion of separation. We are, I don't like using the word ascending, but we are rising into actually anchoring fifth dimensional unity consciousness. So the illusion of separation is dying a tricky, hard death right now. But the alchemists are the ones that, I don't know, make it easier, but make it simpler. So the shadow attribute, misuse of the power and knowledge that comes through spiritual practice. Now, this is one of the wisdom family of archetypes. So everybody's going to do that, right? You know, I joke, but it's actually true. I have a black pillar candle about that big upstairs in my office. Yeah, I don't record in my office. I record in my breakfast nook, my dining room. And it's a big, thick black candle, and it is still in its original cellophane for over 20 years. I'm so freaking proud of that, because I have hexed, I have cursed in my teens, my 20s, and my 30s, but come my 40s, oh, Saturn return. Well, I had my Saturn return at 29 years old, but you know what I mean? It's like you learn from that, and from that experience, my motives have evolved. That now I don't curse, I bless. May all beings be blessed. May everyone who's ever done me wrong be blessed. Now, is that going to bless them? Is that going to make them happy? Well, maybe, but it's certainly lifting me up. See, alchemy. So one thing that the alchemist can do, divine feminine, silently bless the twin flame, whoever this is. If you are identifying with the divine feminine, you have to see divine feminine, divine masculine, but you really are. So if you have a spiritual practice, chances are if you're watching a video like this, you might want to kind of feel for that alchemy. It's like, ooh, the alchemist are, right? That's the intuition. The body will tell you. The divine masculine engineer, light attribute, ability to give creative energy a practical expression, right? So this is the creative family. Ability to give creative energy a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. So that doesn't necessarily just mean, you know, physical things, putting it together, but mental strategies, right? It's like, well, for a common dilemma, I have a friend who, well, he is in the IT industry. And as much as he works in his office, he also works for clients. And what I love about him, he's an Aquarius, is he just has that ability to like come up with a solution like really, really fast, but practical, right? It's like, well, but if we do this and do this and do this, that will save you this amount of money, which is why he's so beloved by his customers and clients, right? So he has the engineer archetype. I've seen him engineer an evening of us hanging out in his head. It's kind of fun. Shadow attribute, however, reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. In other words, well, that's what we've done before and that's what works, and so we're just going to do that, right? Without the heart being opened there. Oh, so I just got the feeling a lot of y'all just like, oh yeah, I know who that is, right? Whether it's you or the twin, the divine feminine, yeah, you're feeling that. Now, the athlete, the relationship itself, it's not a third party unless you want to consider the relationship itself the third party. It's like divine, it's like me, them, us would be like the two archetypes, the two coming together in relationship, and the athlete archetype is not necessarily what you think. None of the archetypes are, well, there's always the literal surface level. You always want to go in on a different angle, right, to see the detail in terms of the differences. The light attribute, dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps. Development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. So right there, this relationship is probably challenging, at least right now, this twin flame relationship. Some of the twin flames are pretty much challenging, ongoing. Dealing with physical limits, like if it's physical separation, or, you know, there's financial issues going on, or health issues, right? That other part, development of personal willpower and strength of spirit, that's what you're each have the opportunity to develop here in this twin flame relationship. Personal willpower through strength of spirit, which is about faith, which is about trust, which is about blessing those you really don't want to bless, but as you do, the blessing comes through you and you are blessed, right? Heals you. Well, that's unity consciousness for you, though. Shadow attribute, misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends. Like, even if, I don't know, even if that's an athletic ability of you to convince people of things that they really shouldn't convince them about, although there are other archetypes that do that as well. False sense of invulnerability and entitlement. Now, invulnerability, I can see that our relationship, we're going to last forever. Every day we, and for all that we've suffered, we're entitled to be together. We deserve to be together. Oh, that word, deserve, just gets under my skin, right? Be careful of that. That's hubris. That's entitlement. Hubris, toxic pride, is the deadly sin of the root chakra. Jiggy. Entitlement for the solar plexus chakra. So just be aware of that there are some base motives in every relationship, even soulmates. But in soulmates, those wrinkles get ironed out as you go along. It just always seems to work itself out. Where twin flames, it's really about the transformation, love, healing, protecting, taking care of the self. Got it? So to clarify this Divine Feminine Alchemist, we're going to be pulling 5 cards from the top of the Daughters of the Moon Tarot in a lovely little spread I call the element spread. Fire, earth, air, water, spirit. Fire, what do you want? Earth, what do you have to get you what you want? Air, what do you think? Water, what do you feel? And spirit, an overview card, making a pentacle. Yes, I am a witch. I'm wearing my pentacle earrings. I'm like, oh, doesn't make you a witch. Wear all the jewelry you want. I'm allowed to wear all the jewelry I want. I can wear whatever I want. I'm an adult. Having a good morning. Good morning. Here we go. Ready, my gods, please. Top 5 cards to clarify this Alchemist Divine Feminine energy in this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame relationship for October 2019 and beyond. May they be blessed with what they need to know in this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame relationships for the well-being of all. Top 5 cards. Top 5 cards. Top 5 cards. Element spread. Got it. Top 5 cards, element spread. Clean cut, please. Maiden, Mother, Crone. As long as the first one cuts clean, that means that no cards are hanging. So I got to guess. I have to intuit. Is that supposed to be the top of that one or the bottom of the other one? So let's look. What does the Divine Feminine want? What is her element of fire, her choices, her will, her desire, her passion? Well, so fire in a fire sign. We've got Sagittarius here, so probably more than one, right? Sagittarius is mutable fire. It's like the archer shooting arrows. I was raised by a nursery school teacher. You bet I have sound effects, particularly for animals. So that Sagittarius, that expansion. Now you may want to look at the Sagittarian twin flame read, even if you don't have, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus sign there. But as I tune to that card, it's like the cauldron of transformation. Ciridwen. I've kind of heard that. Well, Celtic names, people like stirring the cauldron, transformation. So definitely wanting a change. But a lot of change or a lot of different things, sort of like moving homes, right? It's like you don't just buy a house. It's like you have to like choose what furniture you're taking or buy new ones. There's a lot of, let's say, a subset of desires within the larger desire there for this Divine Feminine. But does feel expansive, does feel perky. There's a word I don't use often, perky. But with that alchemist thing with spiritual practice here, Sagittarius 9th house can very, very, very much be about spirituality in terms of expansion as well, very Jupiterian. So what does the Divine Feminine have to help her get what she wants? Like the wick that feeds the flame of the candle, another fire card. The Aries. Now, does that mean you're an Aries too? You've got placements there, whatever. But this is what you have. Is there someone in your life who is a self-starter, right? Think first house. Ego, personality, self. What I'm really getting for this, my caps, for the Divine Feminine, this is about relying on yourself, self-reliance, doing your own thing, following your own path, self-esteem. And it's 11:11 a.m. 11111. First house. Keep going, right? Work on you. You do you. Because of the holographic nature of reality, as you heal, you all heal. So don't try and heal the divine masculine in this one, but bless them, because as you bless them, your load is lightened, your alchemy moves forward. That's pretty hot considering 2 fire cards, first 2 cards down. So what is the divine I'm sorry if I'm saying you, just bear with me. What does the divine feminine need? Well, I know you're the divine masculine, right? What does the divine feminine think about all this? What's she thinking? What's she thinking? Well, 10 of Blades, I know, usually such a sucky card, right? It's like so much suffering, but this, such a great interpretation. Resolution, right? The rattle, the passing of the talking stick, where every voice gets heard. Now, maybe every voice that gets heard here is within the mind of the divine feminine, right? So what's she thinking about? Because she's got all these desires, right? All these, this transformation, all these changes that she's wanting to make, a lot of fire there. So it makes sense you need a lot of air, because air feeds fire. You pull air away from fire, fire goes out, right? So it needs, what does it need? It needs fuel, it needs air, it needs heat, right? So boy, really getting with that there are some contradictory voices inside of you, some from the past, some of those tapes, you remember that? Like, well, what do we say now? I've got MP3s of my parents in my head, right? It's such a 70s, 80s term, but the tapes running in my head, sure, but it can also be the wounded child inside of you, right? It can be any of the voices of lead that are gold in potentia, right? Potentially gold. To love them, to give them space, to let them be heard, but not necessarily spoken on social media, not necessarily spoken to. There are voices in me that I'm often shocked when they come up, they go, I fucking hate her, him, it, them, Leo rising, right? So for me to pull back and go, it's okay, honey, it's a little shocking sometimes. It's okay, honey, I love you. You're allowed. It's okay, I love you. Now that's a very brief thing I just did, but it gives that child the room, because this may be about politics, it may be about anything, but that rage, as long as it's held within your energy field, your cell tissue, it's lead sitting in your system. And how about, because you're probably so damn empathic, divine feminine, that what you're feeling is really 2% is you, 2% like milk, right? And the other 90% is the people around you and or people in the collective feeling the same way, maybe about something else, right? So give that voice, heal that, love that. That's the alchemy. You don't try and heal that, you love that. Love is the universal solvent. I've studied alchemy. Philosopher's Stone, in my opinion, is forgiveness, but hey, you know, to each their own, symbolic interpretation as we go along. And don't be afraid to change them up as you go. There's always a higher truth. So that's what you're thinking, and a lot of it, apparently. Divine Feminine, what are you feeling? What is she feeling? Well, another fire card, but this is the sign of Leo. Shantiko, Mother of Flames. I mean, I've been reading this deck for a very, very long time, and the goddesses, because it's a feminist deck, Daughters of the Moon Tarot, definitely feeling them. That's why I love this deck so much. I can feel. Now, what Shantiko is doing here is she is baking bread, right? She's yeah, that's not adobe, that's bread. She's baking bread, so there's already been a process in place, but this is where it goes into where the oven, right? So what you're feeling right now in terms of that creativity, good fortune, but fixed fire, that you go from mutable fire here, what you want, to in your emotions more like a steady sunbeam, like keep going, we can do this, that your desires emotionally are not really changing how your desires feel. And that's a good thing, right? You want the sun to be consistent, but you don't want it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Everything will burn. So emotionally, I mean, you certainly can be feeling this for a Leo person. Maybe the divine masculine here is Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Uranus, whatever. Moot point in a collective with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people in it. But to get that, that doesn't mean they're influencing your emotions, but it can mean perhaps you're empathing them. But as I empath the energy on this card, it's also like, damn, I want this. That this feels heart's desire kind of thing. This feels like what you want, you can have, but you might have to let go of the form and allow it to come in whatever shape or form it comes, particularly Well, look, if it's a hot time, if it's passion, if it's fun, twin flames are great for that. Like, that's the bait. That's what gets us in. Man, I've had a crap load of twin flame lovers in particular. Again, nothing here gigantically speaking of romance, by the way. But, you know, they were hot, they were exciting, they were sexy, there was chemistry. Well, that chemistry was nitroglycerin and they blew shit up, but needed to contract. And all you need to do to survive a twin flame contract, to complete it, is to survive it, whether you walk away or you set those clear boundaries. Because what if it's a family member, right? What if it's your boss, right? What if that's exactly why you're in that job? Is this person just annoys you or freaks you out or depresses you or puts you down, makes you doubt your own self-worth, right? It's like the gods have scripted this for you so that you will heal yourself. So there's nothing wrong with what you want. But I would be very, very careful about confusing content and form. It's the content that you want. You probably really want a soulmate, right? But the form of the contract itself, the person, the place, the situation this is going in, don't be so set on that. Really be the Sagittarian, be the hunter. Say, okay, well, that's out of season now. What do I want if it comes to moving on? And we will see about that. Overview, please. Ace of Cups. Overview, this is all about a new beginning of happiness for you. Maybe not so much for them. We will see what's going on in the Divine Masculine next. But for you, for certain, Ace of Cups. There's something very Aphrodite about this card, right? Aphrodite, just sort of like giving you that initial cup, that initial start, that initial, I don't want to say breath, but drink of that clear water. And the card is called Happiness. So all of this is really happening. That's why I like the overview card, because we may not see the overview all the time. We may believe it, but we may not be directly experiencing it. So really, Alchemist, Divine Feminine here, there's a lot of fire. You've got 3 out of 5 fire cards here. 2 of, oh my God, you have all 3 court cards. I didn't even realize that. You have, where is she? You have the Maiden of Flames, Wands, the Mother of Flames, and the Crone of Flames, but you got them in that order. Wow. So fire, 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 fire. Little Beavis for you there, for those who know what that is. If not, look it up. Cornholio. Okay, let's look at the Divine Masculine. And what we're going to look at the Divine Masculine with, the Mythic Tarot, another one of my favorites. Oh, I keep doing that upside down. The Mythic Tarot. Let's represent accurately. My gods, please. Top 5 cards, element spread for the Divine Masculine in this Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame relationship for October 2019 and beyond, please. What does he want? Element of fire. What does he have to help him get what he wants? Element of earth. What does he think? Element of air. What does he feel? Element of water. And what is the overview? Element of spirit. Please, top 5 cards, element spread for this Divine Masculine in this Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame relationship for October 2019 and beyond. Maiden. Mother and Crone. Maiden. Mother. Crone. Here we go. What does the Divine Masculine want? Element of fire. Wheel of Fortune, for things to move on, for things to change, yes, to move on to the next level. That the Wheel of Fortune for me is about fate and destiny. There are just certain things that are scripted. That the wheel is turning, things will change. I mean, if you just look at that, physical matter isn't even solid. It's vibrating particles of light winking in and out of existence faster than we can ever watch it, although technology is sort of doing that, boson particles, etc. But this is about a cyclic turn, something that is scripted, something that is written into the fate, written into the script of at least their lives, and maybe not for the Divine Feminine, we'll see, but wanting very much. And that's the thing, a lot of the things that we consider our heart's desires, sort of like the Divine Feminine has there in that emotional position of water with that Leo card, they are things that have been written upon our hearts, as it were, our heart's desires, our life dreams that we're so called to, that when we think about them, we animate, right? It like wakes us up. We anchor in the truth of who we are a little bit more, drop by drop by drop. So they're sort of wanting their fate, their destiny. Well, the difference between fate and destiny: fate's what you're given, destiny is what you do with it, right? Do you take the hero's journey, alchemizing fate into destiny, divine masculine, or do you suffer your fate? All right, so I'm going to say with the Wheel of Fortune, they're wanting so much for that to move forward to either the next phase, or for things to unfold for them in a cyclic pattern. So if they've been at the bottom, moving to the top. If they're at the top, there's of course that moving to the bottom. That's not always positive, negative. That could be very active, then needing a rest. And that, right? It's like we're awake during the day, active, 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 sleep during the night, passive, passive, passive. That cycle as well. I mean, that's in a 24-hour. Wheel of Fortune is usually seasonal. I mean, it is the 8 spokes of the pagan wheel of the year, at least to me. Just saying. What does the divine masculine have? What is the wick that feeds the fire of his candle? Well, the Chariot. Okay, 2 major arcana cards, first card down. So what he's got the drive, just needs to kind of bring that into balance. The white horse and the black horse, right? White horse and dark horse. The contradictory forces within themselves, because sometimes you have you have to let him know, does he stay or does he go? It's really bringing together that internal, the what and the why, what I want, why I want it. Because if you have what you want, and everybody thinks they know what they want, but go a little deeper into not just what you want, why? Because the why is the fuel, determines how fast or how slow you go, how let it or unlet it. Alchemy joke, unintentional alchemy pun, yikes. So the divine masculine is very much being the divine masculine here, and wanting to sort of take that Mars energy of just move forward, move forward, move forward, move forward, particularly with the images of wheels. Even though you can't see the wheels in this chariot, what are the horses dragging it? No, there are wheels there. So let's leave that there as we look for what is he thinking. What are you thinking, divine masculine? Oh, 10 of Swords. I'm over it now. Interestingly enough, oh, same position in the element. You're both 10 of Swordsing this. Divine feminine. All right, but the 10 of Blades here, like we said, is the rattle. Here, this is really the culmination of the suit of swords, right? Starting with the Ace of Swords, that like new thought, new idea, new communication. Now this is resolved. So interestingly enough, you've both come to this place of mental resolve for the month of October 2019 and beyond in this twin flamer. But perhaps it has not been communicated yet. But it feels like you're both ready to move on. Are you going to move on in this relationship? Again, this could be parent-child. I'm using that as an example. It's not like you're going to go your separate ways necessarily. But at least with romantic sexual contracts, you can do that, right? You can get divorced. You have children, you still have to deal with that, obviously. That's why I have cats. My cats are mine, and I am theirs. But you know what I mean? Like, you can walk away from a toxic relationship, except when it's family. And even then, by the way, plenty of us do along the way, right? So mental resolution. Both sides, instant mirror, and that's a twin flame for you, right? You're going to see that mirroring in each other. Let's look at what he's feeling. This just got way more interesting pour moi. What's he feeling? 9 of Wands, like almost there, just can't get it. It's got to get past this barrier, right? That 9 of Wands, holding on, dude, like, don't you touch my wands, right? Almost there, not happy, usually not happy. There's a final block, a final obstacle, caught on the reefs before getting home. You've already taken the journey, but you're just not home yet, right? It's Jason and the Argonauts. Trapped. Wands on the rocks, no big surprise. Yeah, saltwater drink and you'll tell them some lies. I can feel that they're emotionally just feeling fucking stopped, just feeling stuck in the terms of the manifestations of their desires. Where, you know, here you haven't given up on your heart's desires, divine feminine. So, you know, this engineer keeping in mind this is an engineer archetype divine masculine, that it might be that the system that they usually have is not working for them, that they need to evolve a new one or try the one that they're using differently. And particularly with all the thinking going on here too, there's really not seeing any water here, not seeing any emotional stuff here. I mean, not a big shock. There's not a ton of water in the divine feminine except for that Ace of Cups, but that's the overview as well. Again, it feels like there's some empathing going on here, particularly with that, even though, you know, the mental field air isn't necessarily empathy, but you might be feeling sort of the same thing and thinking about it differently, but in that place of 10, I'm done with this. Or at least I'm done thinking about this for now. I need to come to a conclusion so that I can communicate with that Ace of Swords. Simple, right? Simplify. Simplify. This does not have to be as overly complex as it's been. Yeah, but with that athlete archetype overlighting the whole relationship, this does make sense. All right, one more card. What is the spirit card for this divine masculine in this Capricorn twin flame relationship? He's got an ace too. I mean, this is what twin flames are all about. It's like you're totally mirroring each other, just in different forms, different ways. So for him, this is like a whole new beginning, a whole new opportunity physically, like could be new job, new relationship, anything new in terms of the physical, maybe has been reduced to ashes through all of this. Not really what I'm getting there, but with this Wheel of Fortune, sooner or later they were going to come to this one. So how interesting. You both go from the 10 to the 1. The divine feminine, you go from the 10 of Blades to the Ace of Cups. Divine masculine, you go from the 10 of Swords, which is the 10 of Blades, to the Ace of Pentacles, right? And wow, that's pretty cool. Fire, air, earth, air, water, spirit. Now we're going to clarify what I call the center lane here to clarify this, the twin flame relationship itself with the athlete archetype, which I can feel the obstacle courses and the loops, the loop-de-loops, and jumping through hoops of flame and fire and marathon that this has been. That's why really I could feel this being a lifelong contract, like a family member, or, you know, reason, season, lifetime. Twin flames certainly fit that bill, reason, season, lifetime. But what we're going to do is we're going to clarify these differently. Yes, we will pull tarot cards, but only one each from each deck. But we're going to do them in the order first of the angels. With the Healing with the Angels Oracle by Doreen Virtue. Please, my angels, one card in clarity for this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame relationship for October 2019 and beyond. We've got the athlete archetype here in the light and the shadow. I can feel it has not been easy. I can feel that it's not only been turbulent and tumultuous and transformative as all twin flames are, but a fucking marathon and an obstacle course. Like one of those park courses in a park that never fucking ends. I feel it. I can totally feel this. Please, one card of clarity, a piece of your angelic guidance and grace. Please. Retreat! Run away! Run away! No, not run away. Run to. That you two definitely need. Your time apart in isolation, voluntary, or you retreat together. What does that mean? That you say, all right, fuck the rest of the world for a couple of days, just you and me, we need to talk, and we're either going to work this out, we're either going to set some new boundaries, but each one of you needs to be doing that before that comes together. So if there is separation between the two of you, it's like that thing I said in the cycle. It's like you work, you work, you work, you work. Sounds like, oh. So this is more about self-healing anyway. Twin flame relationships, even if you do go to counseling, you know, couples counseling and stuff like that, it's still about healing yourselves individually. Now, by the way, for those of you who are looking at this through a marriage or through a romantic thing and are considering counseling or, you know, what have you, any healing modality, and just sitting down talking it out, keep in mind there are plenty of people who are married who are in twin flame contracts, right? They make it work, but it works much, I don't want to say better, it's just easier, a bit more simple when you get, oh, you can't give me what I really want. I didn't even know I really wanted it in most cases until I was in this relationship. I've got to give that to me. And if it is something that really is what we call a deal breaker, like sex, and the sex either isn't good or it's non-existent, that is something that you do not have to sacrifice. That's a twin flame relationship. You just can't give yourself that. Just saying that, you know, there's been a lot of stress going on here. But usually twin flames are very passionate, very, you know, even familial. Obviously, take the sex part out of it, you know, like arguments and, you know, very strong desires and points of view and sort of defending and attacking, that sort of stuff, especially with those flaming arrows there from the Divine Feminine. So that there's some renegotiation that needs to go on here, but you really need to be honest with yourselves individually, whether you're Divine Masculine or Divine Feminine here, in terms of not retreating from the relationship, retreating into yourself to get clear on what it is that you really want. Particularly Divine Feminine, you got all that fire there, but for the Divine Masculine to really clarify, you know, what is the engineer way of doing this, and am I relying upon an old system or an outmoded strategy? Because you can engineer a strategy as well to make this work. Am I depending upon something? Am I relying upon a mechanistic process rather than an organic one, a heart-centered one? Yikes. Let's get Daughter of the Moon Tarot here. Now, this may or may not be about the Divine Feminine. This is about the relationship in and of itself. So please, my gods, one card of clarity for this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame relationship for October 2019 and beyond. That was easy. All right. So there is some deception going on here. Now, I almost always see this card as self-deception. Why? Because she blindfolded. And I know it looks like the Two of Blades, right? It's like the blades on either shoulder, like really sharp shoulder pads. Joan Crawford. But looking under her, like on that little stone throne benchy thing, there are two hidden under there. So I really do see this as often an unwillingness to see the truth within the self. And that, with that retreat card, does make sense. So I'm not going to make that all about the Divine Feminine just because that's, you know, the tarot deck that I use. That's not the intention for drawing that card anyway. It's to look at the relationship in toto, in total, at least for where it is right now, right? October 2019 and beyond. So my gods, please, same thing. One card in clarity for this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame relationship for October 2019 and beyond. I feel you. This one? Yes. Well, the moon, right? So things are not as they appear to be anyway. The moon obfuscates rather than clarifies. There's a $10 word. Tip me for that. By the way, I got PayPal me. Tip me, Capricorns. That there is some cloudiness going on here. There is some moodiness. There are some emotions sort of clouding things over. Ultimately, yes, this is a card about intuition. I mean, I like the High Priestess for that more. The kind of the secrets in the subconscious, but of course the moon is about intuition as well. And get that there's a difference between emotion and intuition, right? There's emotional guidance and emotional response, like when you're thinking about what you really want and it lights you up, even in terms of looking at archetypes, you get that animation of, but that's a feeling, right? Isn't that a feeling? It's like, oh, I just feel that way. Where an emotion is more element of water, controlled by the moon, right? Pulled by the lunar gravitational forces. That there may be some emotions here, like that may have nothing to do with this relationship at all, but that are being what? Triggered in a twin flame relationship coming up. And not wanting to look at, not wanting to deal with those emotions. And that can be on both sides. Like, now I'm just using this as an example. This is not prediction. You know, for some of you it is. It's like, this is over. Right, the Ten of Blades, at least the thought, like in the mind, is like, this is over, this is done, I'm off like a prom gown, I can't do this anymore. Well, for those of you that are experiencing abuse and neglect, that cancels contracts. You walk away. If there is physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, psychological abuse, any of that stuff, done. Doesn't matter if it's Divine Masculine or Divine Feminine doing it. You walk. Cancel contract, you can beat a dead horse. But you know what? That's easier to see, right? That abuse, it's so aggressive. But neglect, that's passive. That's a contract killer too. By the way, null and void, nothing you can do about it. When there really is neglect, like sexual neglect, or just someone neglecting to do what they say they're going to do repeatedly, it's sort of like abuse's quieter evil twin. Right? So yeah, I've been in many relationships, contracts that went way past their due date, their expiration date, because I didn't get that really neglect was a form of abuse. So once I got that, like, oh, you neglect to tell me what's really going on in your life so that I get, oh, you withhold the truth so that I get to keep tripping over the same shit. Meanwhile, you're being resentful about me. Yeah, you can feel that. So there's some emotions getting in the way here, but I'm telling you, if there is abuse going on, it's done anyway. It's toast. Stick a fork in it. It's dead. It's done. Walk away. But I'm not feeling like that's for everybody, because what are you going to do? Again, if it's familial, right? Like I'm seeing mother-child here for some reason. Again, that can, without gender there, can be archetypal as well. Well, a neglectful mother, it happens. Does that mean the contract is clear because the mother's being neglectful? Well, if it's a little child, obviously not. So on a case-by-case basis. But certainly in a twin flame relationship, once abuse is there or neglect, it's done. All right. We've got one more card we're going to lay down for this. We're going to ask the masters, and I have a feeling they're going to tell us, because the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, those, I call them womp womp cards. If I ever make a deck, I will have a suit for womp womp. Right? If I can get Rachel Dratch's face and Debbie Downer on the back of those, that would be great. Yeah, likenesses. I ain't got that much money. So my masters, please, one card in clarity for this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sign, Twin Flame relationship for October 2019 and beyond. Please, one card of clarity. What's going on here? Well, and it's a push me, pull me. That's what's called the problem card, what I affectionately call the womp womp card, right? Now, notice that I can bang the table and the camera doesn't shake because I put it on a tripod, but it makes it further away. So see, I dated a Scorpio once. God bless him if he ever watches this stuff. We're still friends on Facebook. He's like, passive aggressive, what do you mean? Get away from me. Where are you going? Get away from me. Where are you going? So, I mean, total twin flame dynamic there, right? Gas brake, gas brake, gas brake, attract, repel, attract, repel, attract, repel, push me, pull me. There's a lot of confusion going on here. People are saying one thing, doing another, because people are not really clear about what it is they want. Now, I do get the feeling the Alchemist Divine Feminine does know what she wants. She has a heart's desire here, maybe putting the pieces together that her new beginning is dawning, right, with that Ace of Cups at the top. The Divine Masculine absolutely is ready to move on, and maybe that's the thing. You're trying to make it work when it's already done. But that's, I'm really getting only in the romantic sexual context. If this is a family member, then this really has to be, right? Or if this is a boss, you really can heal a great deal of this within yourselves and get that it's not your job to change the other person, heal the other person. Your job is to love the other person, but impersonally, right? Pray for them. May you be blessed. May you be blessed with all that you need. Don't tell them that. You do that silently, right? Unless they ask. It's like, would you pray for me? You say, absolutely, whether you're Divine Masculine or Divine Feminine. Although I'm really feeling that's the Divine Feminine. We're almost done. 3 more cards down. And we're going to use the lovely, delightful, delicious Whispers of Love Oracle. I love these cards. Like, I pick one of these a day. What do I need? Fuck. There it is. Really helpful. So please, the higher selves of all involved. One card in clarity for this Divine Feminine in this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Twin Flame relationship for October 2019. Please, a clarifying whisper of love. Miracles and blessings. Everything has its gift. So if you can just gently shift into that Divine Feminine, that this is a miracle, this is a blessing, I'm going to experience this miracle, I'm going to do the blessings, may you be blessed, may you be blessed, may you be blessed, that everything has its gift. Not that everything is, everything has its gift. That you'll see in retrospect. And you've got the Alchemist there, so why wouldn't you? You're going to take this really toxic metal of lead and alchemize it into something really healing, gold, from an insulator to a conductor there. And you'll know when you incarnate that Ace of Cups, your heart will open up and it'll be impersonal love, God love, unconditional love, what I call true love. You're becoming more of an embodiment of true love. And look, the path of true love, which is my thing, most of my readings are about that in one way, shape, or form. You need your twin flames. You need them. They're essential contracts. They're just essential. So let's ask the same thing, please, for the Divine Masculine here, please. One card in clarity, higher selves of all involved for the divine masculine in this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame relationship for October 2019 and beyond. Physical touch is important. Physical touch is important. For some of us, nothing is more important than a tender touch. This might include a pat on the back or giving a hug to someone who needs it. Now, I'm going to say that that's important for that engineer, right? Very physical world, yes, creative family of archetype, coming up with like these innovative ways for making solutions and resolutions. I get why they need the physical touch of it. I get it. They need physical touch is very important for them. They may not be so ready to hand it out to others, though, in terms of the pat on the back, because I am getting that stuck on the rocks thing with that 9 of Wands. They might very much want to take the reins and move forward, but it kind of feels like in this relationship, either that physical touch sexually romantically is not happening, well, because it's not a sexual romantic relationship, right? Familiar at work, something that's really inappropriate. So it's either inappropriate or that just there's so much going on individually here that even if someone could say, do you want a hug? And it's totally okay for someone to say, no, don't take it personally. It's like that they're out. And you know, you can usually tell by somebody's face, right? If they're just like, they're not open for a hug, don't even ask. I mean, you can ask, but if they say, no, screw off, I'm in a bad place right now, don't take it personally. 4 Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz, great book, get it on audio. Listen to it in the car, in the bathroom, in the shower, right? So, but physical touch is important to them, and the divine feminine might be like, yeah, I'm not feeling it in that context. But, you know, being raised by I won't say non-affectionate, but my parents definitely expressed their affections in different ways, not always through the hug, right? The pat on the back, because we were expected to achieve. Look at me. Expected to achieve. I am the white sheep of the family, right? Tricky. So, you know, in some families, that's just not the way things are, but physical touch is really important there. And I do feel like more on the receptive side, though they may want to do the touching. They need to touch themselves. It's not what I mean. You know what I mean? They need to get that touch for themselves. All right, last card down. Eyelash tickle in the face. Higher selves of all involved. Please, one card of clarity for this Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame relationship for October 2019. Considering we've got the athlete with retreat, with deception 4 of swords, with the moon, making it like that, with the push me, pull me, please, one card of clarity, a whisper of love. I love you, right? And what I love about this card is it's essentially the same card front and back, right? I love you. These are very important words for you to say to yourselves, individually, until you get to that place where you mean it to the other. Because look, there, of course, love is the answer. Love is the healer. Love is the fire, the flame that transforms the twin flames. But I love you. I love you. Do it silently to the emotions arising. I love you. You can even say, I love the one I don't even want to acknowledge is in me. I love the emotions I don't even want to look at. I love myself for not wanting to look at them, right? That's like a part of self-preservation. I love myself for being confused. I love myself for being emotional. I love myself for not knowing what I want. I love myself for wanting what I want, but afraid of getting what I want because I don't know how to get what I want. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Put your hand on your heart. Breathe. I love you. Do it silently. Make that your mantra for both of you. If you can do that, that's going to move this along, because you will heal individually, raise the vibration of the twin flame contract, or either it will be livable, right? If you're married, if you're siblings, if you're family, but then if this even is in the romantic sexual context, and again, there are cards in these decks that will say this is romantic sexual. Ain't none of them on the table, but that doesn't mean that it's not. that the individual loving of the self, healing of the self, just making it a mantra. And of course it does, you may feel it right away. It's not about the emotional part of it. It's about the subconscious will take it in, because we've all been told, I love you, and then people have done very unloving things. It takes a while for the child of the heart, that wounded, abandoned child that remembers every slight subconsciously. Right, it's all recorded in there, from the bullies on the schoolyard to parental stuff to every heartbreak since Adam and Eve. I love you. It's okay to feel this way. I love you. I love you. I love you. Go check out my my book, Words of Grace. It's on my website. The link is down there. It's in my store. But also check out the work of KAHN. He's a genius and very, very worth looking at. But now I'm going to give you your overview. Let's wrap this up. Because for the Divine Feminine Alchemist, a desire, there are many desires, but one overlighting heart's desire from that Sagittarius in element of fire to that Leo card element in water. And the Earth, what she has is to work on herself, that Aries card, to lead herself, to love herself, to look within, to do it for her. Sister needs to be doing it for herself, standing on her own 2 feet and ringing on her own bells. Because what's on her mind is letting all those internal voices be heard by her, blessing them, but also coming to a resolution, a 10 of blades with that overview with the Ace of Cups there certainly makes sense. That's what's really going on, getting ready for an emotional rebirth, a new offer of love, but that with miracles and blessings, that everything has its gifts. So for the Alchemist Divine Feminine, it feels like, particularly with that I love you card in the twin flame relationship itself, that the miracles and blessings, you are the vehicle through which the miracles and blessings come. Use your spiritual practice to gain the wisdom from the base motives of this relationship within you. For the Divine Masculine, so much wants to move forward with that Wheel of Fortune. For a turn of the wheel, can we just get on with this to the point where grabbing the reins of the Chariot has the ability to do that, even though there is a push me, pull me here in this relationship. Really same thing as the Divine Feminine, just sort of like over it in terms of just overthinking it to the point where just exhausted resolution, but all of those voices need to be heard and loved and embraced as well, particularly because feeling the emotional, that 9 of Wands, it's like, oh, close but no cigar, right? In the last 9 yards but can only go 8. There's a block, there's a defense there, there's a defensive stance there, because there are probably emotions that need to be felt, considering there's no water in this spread. But like the Divine Feminine, the overlighting, the card of Spirit, the overview is an ace, except this time it is the Ace of Pentacles. So for the engineer archetype there, Divine Masculine, to really start innovating new creative practical expressions of solutions and resolutions, because in the center lane here, with this relationship being athletic, that there have been there's a lot of work. This feels like it's a lot of work, feels like it's going to be a lot of work, a lot of training, but to get that, athletes are always training, trying to transcend the physical limits. So there's a great opportunity here for this twin flame relationship to transcend limitations, to transcend things that have been said. But in order to do that, there needs to be retreat, there needs to be rest, either together or alone, meaning individually. And I'm feeling that's more the case here, but you're going to feel that out, because there are emotional deceptions in place here, emotions like clouds obscuring the moon, that you can't see the clarity, that you might be deceiving yourself, or somebody's deceiving somebody, or you're both equally deceiving each other, perhaps, what do they call that, going through the motions without the actual fuel there to keep it going, because there is a push me, pull me, you want, then you don't, come closer, go away, I love you today, I hate you tomorrow, I want to marry you today, I want to never see you again tomorrow, that back and forth, push me, pull me, push me, pull me. But ultimately, with the answer, the whisper of love from the higher self saying, I love you, that these are very important words. So my Capricorns, really intense reading here for just 20 cards, but really doable here in terms of a twin flame. And get that even if you walk away, particularly, again, if there's abuse or neglect, it's dead anyway, it's done, contract canceled. But if this is, not that this is something that must go on, family, work, what have you, friends, housemates, roommates, that sort of thing, well, it's up to both of you to end this gracefully or not. But God, really, really feeling it here for both of you, that I love you is the answer. Just give that to yourself. I love you. I love you. I love you. And you're going to want to do that, my sense is, individually, on your own, away from each other, in retreat, so that you can purge things that ultimately have nothing to do with them, that they have triggered. And what a blessing it is when we see that. It's like, oh, that wasn't even about them. So I'm going to give you a blessing. May you be blessed with all that you need, my Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. May you be blessed with all the love, the wisdom, the power, the light, the not just the understanding, but the clarity necessary to do, be, have, manifest the best that you can be, and fulfill your role in the divine plan, and to fulfill this twin flame contract. Cool, cool. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed. But for now, my Capricorns, hail, farewell. Please like and subscribe, and blessed be.